July 30th, and it's Tuesday, and I officially start the white. So I'm at the base of Mount Musalak, so I'm going to start climbing up. I stayed at a hostel last night, the Welcome Hiker Hostel, 3 tents up the road, which was good because I ate 2 full subs just to bulk up a little bit. And I'm starting with a little over 35 pounds in my pack, which last year when I did this section hike I started with 36, so we're about the same. I only did 8 miles last year with no trail legs, so I should be able to go over and back down the other side of this mountain. The backside is really steep, and a lot of the through hikers are doing a slack pack. They drive into the other side of the mountain and they hike back here to the hostel where their bags are, and then tomorrow they will shuttle them to where they started on the other side of the mountain with their pack, so they can continue on, which, I don't know, kind of like cheating almost. Not really, it depends on what you want. But I had to just cross this stream right there on those rocks, and now off I go, because it's going to be a big climb over just about 4,000 vertical feet. I'm about 3/4 of the way up Mount Musalak, and it's quite a climb. It's not super steep, a lot of rocks though, on this side. The other side's very steep. A lot of people from the shelter who are slack packing have to climb that, but I'm about 3/4 of the way up, and maybe about a little more than halfway up, so about a little over 2,000 feet. I could feel a definite difference in the temperature. It's cooler now. It's probably, I don't know, high 50s right now here, maybe low 60s. But I was dragging so much, but the minute it cooled down, now I got some renewed energy because I'm cooled down, I'm not overheating, so I can actually go a little faster. So this is great. You can see there's the trail going up there. A little rocky, gets a little bit steeper, but not too bad. And I'm close to getting almost there. Alright, I made it up to the south peak. So I don't have much more. I got 0.8 miles to the summit. And you can see the summit in the distance there. That's where I have to go. So it's not too bad. Still a climb, but I'm going to be going up to 4,800 feet. I'm probably at about 4,200 feet right now. And we're just at the edge of the alpine section, and by the time we get up to around 4,500, we're well into the alpine section where there's not going to be any trees except for some really short scrubby ones. So the top has no trees, so I'll be up there probably in about 20 minutes or so. Alright, we're at the peak of Musalak. And it's just, we hit a day that's so gorgeous. It's a little windy, so I'm talking a little loud. But it's just, you can see forever. And we're above the tree line right now. And you can see the cairns that they use to mark the trail because there's no trees to put a blaze on. The mountains in the distance are great. Somewhere in the distance there, it might be Mount Washington, not sure, and that's where we're headed. Correction, they had it wrong. I have 392 miles left to do. It's still pretty close. This is what makes it really treacherous when you go down this steep hill. This is the backside of Musalak, which is a lot steeper than the side I went up. There's a stream running right down the path of rocks, and it makes it slippery. So you got to be really careful. That's where I came from, and you can see the little stream there. And stream comes right down in the middle of the path. And I got to go down there. So when you step on rocks, you got to make sure there's You know, your foot's not going to slip off when you go down. Otherwise, you could have a major fall, and that would be the end of the hike. And here's where it gets even worse. Now there's even more of a stream going through down here. Wow. Stream that's paralleling the trail all the way down. It's really pretty. And it goes all the way down for most of the trail. The trail's right next to it. Now here's where things get real sketchy. Whenever you have wooden steps like this, especially if they're a little wet, you gotta be real careful. They're very slippery. And they're right next to this beautiful stream right here. July 31st, it's Wednesday, and I stay at the Eliza shelter, and I'm climbing up right away a mountain, and they're getting steeper and steeper. That's what I'm climbing up, and right below, around that corner, right there is even steeper than here. It's really hard finding a place to put your foot, especially when it's all wet like this. You got to be really careful. So I still have a ways to go uphill. It looks a little bit less steep up here, but this is the way it's going to be now. This is the trail. Oh boy. Just went through a swamp, trying not to get too wet. Very difficult. And the climb continues. All the way up there. I have at least another 400 feet to go. I made it. I made it up to the south peak of Kinsman Mountain. There's the cairn that they have right at the peak. This is the south peak of Kinsman Mountain. Boy, I don't think any of the climbs in the Whites is going to be any more difficult than what we did going up there. It was just really tough. It's about a 1,600 foot climb, and more than 3/4 of it was rocks and steep rocks, and some of the places I had to scramble and use my hands, and it was just really hard. But it's really nice up here. We're just at the edge of the tree line, so we're not quite above the tree line here, but the trees are all just real stubby ones. So you can see this is the top. The fog after yesterday's front coming through hasn't quite cleared yet, and here's the peak, and over there is I guess the north peak, and you can see the clouds coming over the top, and in the distance are the rest of the mountains there. So we go down from here to a hut on a lake, which is really beautiful. I may buy a $2 bowl of soup or something for lunch, and then from there we go down to the road where they have a visitor center. I hope they sell hamburgers there, and they have some snacks that I can resupply with. I don't need dinners, I need snacks because they just eat them up. I've been trying to eat as much as I can because I need the energy. So that's the stream, a fast flowing stream, I guess because of the rain last night. And that's the AT trail. And whoa! And that is now the stream and the AT trail. You can see the blaze right there, and the blaze here. So I thought a little stream was a problem. Now this is the big stream. This is one of the AMC huts. This one is I forget which one, but there's a nice lake by it. That's their wood shed, and they have a shower back there, and that's the bunkhouse for the people who pay to stay here. But you're allowed to come here and hang out for a little bit and get drinking water, and any leftover food they have from breakfast, so that sometimes it's free for through hikers, or you can work for lunch sometimes.
So I got this about 2 hours ago from Mike. Hopefully it's good. But you guys have it. Thank you.
Over there's all the Thru hikers. It's a really nice place, and these are people who paid for it, but there's some Thru hikers there. And you can see over here, I guess that's the shower house and everything. And there's part of the bunkhouse, so they have a nice setup here. Everything that they have here has to be brought up though, or flown in by helicopter, like for the big propane tanks, and that's where we are up there in the cafeteria. So it's time for us to continue on to the tent site. As we go down these stairs, Lonesome Lake, that's it, it's a Lonesome Lake hut. There's a beautiful lake down here that is designed with a little dock where you can go swimming. I assume they might have some canoes or something, I'm not sure. There's the dock. I'm sure they have a beautiful lake all around here. And right up there, those mountains are the Franconian Mountains, which we'll be climbing tomorrow. And that's some of the most beautiful above the tree line section of the White Mountains. Well, I'm on top of Mount Lincoln. It's above the tree line. It's one of the parts of the White Mountains. It's got a nice constant 25-mile-an-hour breeze. It's chilly. Not too cold, but it's chilly. But anyway, so I'm going to show you around. Came from down there in those mountains. That's where we camped last night. And this is right there's the peak, I guess, of Mount Lincoln. Little haystacks right behind us. You can't see it. But down there, right there's a lake. That's where the hut was yesterday, where I had lunch. And there's a beautiful rock face there. Look at the clouds in the valley. It's gorgeous. And then right over there, can't quite see it on the screen, but somewhere right over there you can see the hut. There's the hut right there. That's the other hut. It's half a mile down from the peak of Mount Lafayette, which is right there is Mount Lafayette, and you can see the trail that we have to climb up to Mount Lafayette. It doesn't look that far, but when you actually walk it, it's quite a distance. And then here's over to the more east. You can see Mount Washington in the distance, but the clouds are in the way. Now from Mount Lincoln, this is only halfway between, which we didn't see. You got to go down here, and then we got the long climb all the way up and see all those little tiny people right there climbing down. There's a whole group of them. Wow. Okay, this is Mount Lafayette, so I gotta talk loud because of the wind. But every once in a while the clouds come and you can't really see much of anything. So I gotta do this now. Down there is north, and that's when we start going downhill. And then we come around back here to the east. It's beautiful. Well, we finished the Franconian Ridge section. That's with Mount Lafayette that you saw before. And we're on another mountain across from it, which we have to go down now to the tent site or shelter, whatever. And there's a great view of the ridge that we just came over, which I'm going to show you. It doesn't look like it's above the tree line, but all the green you see on it are really just ground cover plants. So those two, between those two is where we came from. And we skirted around and went all over those ridges. The highest one Closest to us was the Lafayette. Then we came down the ridge down here, and then we climbed up to where we are right now. There's TikTok and I are just hydrating and taking a snack while we're on this rock outcrop here. Beautiful view of the valley and all of the mountains over there. We're not quite the top. There's the top. I don't know, some little building there about maybe 50 feet over there. But anyway, it's just beautiful valley here. All right, this is a view from Mount Garfield, right?
Yes.
From Mount Garfield across from Franconian Ridge with Mount Lafayette. But up here, there's no clouds right now. And we were up there about, I guess, an hour and a half ago or so. And now you can see all the way around. Beautiful mountains. Now way in the distance there is Mount Washington. It's where we have to go to in about another day and a half. All the way around. That's hard to do because I'm reaching around my neck and I'm trying to balance on this thing here, which is some kind of old tower. What it was for, but it's not here anymore. I made it to the Galehead Hut, and these huts are like $160 a night. I guess they vary a little bit, but they can be anywhere from like $130 to $160 a night. And for through hikers, if you get here at the right time, they allow work for stay. So you do a little work, clean up after dinner, and then they feed you, and then you can stay here the night. And so I got to the Gale Hut, and usually if you get here before 4, they just say, no, you gotta move on. But I got here right about a little after 4 and went in there, and she says, oh yeah, you're my first one. Yeah, you can do a work for stay. So yes, I'm gonna get to work for stay in this hut. This is great, and it's beautiful. So let me show you the hut. So this is the hut here. And I'm not gonna go inside because I don't wanna look weird or jeopardize my work for stay. But this is the hut. And this is the Garhead Hut up there. And this is the view from right out in front of the hut. It's just like really cool. We just came around that mountain, over the top around that mountain. Had to climb a little bit, and this is the view right out here. And I'm not sure if we have to climb up there tomorrow and go over it, but we climb from here, so we must go up somewhere, and then once we go up, it's kind of like a ridge running, and then it's flat and down all the way out to Route 203. So I don't know if I'll make 203 tomorrow, but there's a shelter like 3 miles. Oh, look at this, a little baby. A little baby. Oh, he's a little baby. Son of a gun. I forget what they call these, but isn't he cute? There he goes. Huh. Wow. There he is, looking right there. Now he went away. It's August 2nd, and it's the morning. I guess it's about 6:30. I did the work for stay last night, and we ate so much. It was good. They had lasagna, pulled pork, and vegetables, and a lot of stuff. And then we slept, worked cleaning dishes and cleaning it up, and then we slept on the floor in the dining room. So it was really nice. So I'm just gonna go inside and just give you a little look-see at what it's like in there. Some of the hikers there, and the kitchen's down there. And the bunk rooms are inside some of the other doors. Really nice in here. This is the Twin Peak mountain we just climbed up from the hut. And gosh, this view's like almost better than the other ones. There's two small peaks here. I guess that's what I call Twin Peaks. But the view from here, you can see Mount Washington. You can see the Franconian Ridge that we walked on yesterday. I'm going to show you everything right now. That's Mount Washington in this direction with the sun up a ways. And if we go around, it's just gorgeous. Mountains as far as you can see. The only thing that shows civilization is maybe the ski slope over there. And there's the Franconian Ridge over there, Mount Lafayette, Lincoln. Mount Garfield over there yesterday. Actually, there's some towns down there, and the clouds still in the valleys. And we're coming around back to the sister peak right here with Mount Washington behind it. Cool. I just came, ooh, blueberries. I just came from the, more blueberries. So now, I just came from the Zealand Falls hut. Stopped in there, and they had leftover oatmeal with raisins for breakfast that was free, so I had a couple cups of that, which is good. Took a little break. It was only 10:30, so that was a good time. But now, from there out to the next tent site, AMC tent site, is really flat. It used to be an old railroad bed, and so that's what we're walking on. It's a couple places where it may be a landslide. I took it out or something, but it's really flat. And we go all the way out to Route 203, where the plan is to resupply at a convenience store that's about 3.5 miles down. And if I get a hitch, it'll be quick. If I don't, it'll be longer. And then start my ascent to the presidential part of the range. And I'll see how far I get. I'll probably stealth camp somewhere. The next one is Metha hut and campsites. I don't know if I'll make it there, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, right here is the railroad bed that I'm walking on. Kind of like a rocky area here, and we're going along a valley of two mountains. And this is the path I'm on. Right here, it's not super flat, but once I get around these boulders here, it'll be really flat. And so I'll make good time. I'll finally be able to walk. Well, this section's a lot less flat than I thought. The whole way here was pretty flat. Anyway, right now I gotta climb, whoa, these boulders that come down from there. And I should make good time out to the road. Now here's the flat part. This used to be the old railroad bed for the logging industry when it used to be popular out here. So it's going to be like this flat for most of the way. And again, I guess a lot of landslides over time have just collapsed the railroad bed. But at least we won't have to climb any hills or anything. Alright, I'm down the mountain, and I just hitchhiked the 3.5 miles to the resupply general store campground. I probably only walked about half mile before I got a ride each time, which is a lot better than last time. But thank God. So now it's only 3:10, and I got a heck of a climb to go as far as I can, so I want to at least make it up to the top of the initial climb. And if I want to get to the Mepith tent and hut, I got to go a total from here 6 miles. So we'll see if I can do that in 2 miles an hour would be 6 o'clock. I'm not going to be able to go 2 miles an hour up that mountain, so if I can get there like 7 or 8, that would be good. And of course my pack's heavier because I resupplied, but I bought the minimum because everything was overpriced anyway, so that it's not super heavy. But anyway, Got to get up there. So this is the mountain that I have to climb right now, and there's the trailhead, so off I go. I've been climbing for about an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm really high, but I'm not to the top yet. I'm hoping I won't be there by 5. I'm hoping 5:30, so I have enough time to do the 3 miles to the campsite while I still have enough sun to do things. Anyway, this is what it looks like. That's where I got to go to, and that's where I came out of. So I got to climb that ridge up to there, but this is where I am right now. That's the mountain over there, and before I came down that slope and down over there to the road, and the road's down here. And this is that center right down there is about 3 miles up from where the trail came out when I started going up the road. So I got to get started so I can make time. I'm up at that next peak right here that I saw before, but when I got up here, now I got to go up there. I think that is the top that I have to get to. And then I start walking that way, and in the distance there you can see right there Mount Washington. That's going to be tomorrow. So hopefully I can get up there, I don't know, as soon as possible, because I got 3 miles to walk along that ridge to get to the campsite. So I got to start going. Alright, this is the last 50 feet I have to go up. So that's what I got to climb, about 50 feet of that kind of rock, which means I'm going to have to use a lot of hands. Anyway, that'll put me on the top. Sun's starting to set, so I need to get going. I made it. I think it's around 6, and I made it. I'm at the top. This is the same spot I stood with Johnny when we were going down this. Just seemed, I didn't remember a lot of the tough spots from when we went down. But wow, this was some climb. I think we went up about 3,000 feet I climbed. So here's what I'm looking at. See in the distance, that's a resort hotel. And somewhere from there is a trolley that goes up to Mount Washington, which is over there. It has a little tower on top. If I enlarge it, you can see the tower up there, I think. Even up here there's bugs. And you can just see the mountains. There's the road down there. Cars look pretty small. And I had to climb over those rocks over there up the last 50 feet. So here I am at the top. And now I have to go that way 3 miles to get to the campground. So I think I should get there before the sun hits the horizon, I hope. I don't think I'm going to get a work for stay in the hut, but because it's a little late. But I'll ask anyway, and at least I'll have a campsite. I don't know what small peak this is, Clifford Peak or something, but it's a great view. It's a small peak after I guess I went about 1 mile and 2/10. And you can see right down, somewhere down right there, a little house. That's the hut where the camp area is. It's 1.7 miles away. And there's Mount Washington. So it's cool because you can see all along the path goes all the way up there to Mount Washington. That's what I have to walk tomorrow. That's cool. Starting from that path. It's about 6:15 now. Hopefully I'll get there by 6.